Mike Vrabel is kind of putting himself in some bad situations. And you probably know what I'm talking about, but if somehow you don't know what I'm talking about, Mike Vrabel was spotted with Diana Rossini, I'll get to her later, at a luxury hotel in Arizona. There was a picture of them holding hands, a picture of them hugging, a picture of them hanging out in the pool, a picture of them in the hot tub. You know, things that do not look really good. Things look really bad. And, I can't confirm that he was cheating on his wife because, Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini are both married to other people. So that just makes this whole situation even worse. And, at first when I saw the photos, I was thinking okay, maybe there's a misunderstanding. But as this story has been unfolding, because there was an update on this story just a few days ago. So I thought I would, not be able to do this because it wouldn't be fresh anymore, but it's still, fresh. This story just keeps unfolding like an onion. And, there was the whole argument that they were both with a group of friends, but none of their friends have mentioned anything about that. Anytime someone talks about it, it's always, oh, well, they were by themselves at a luxury hotel for couples. And it was in Arizona, and it was 2 hours out of Mike Vrabel's way because he was at some combine thing that all the coaches had to be at. And, why else would you be going 2 hours out of your way to a luxury hotel? I mean, why? And also, why would you be meeting a group of friends there? That's what I'm confused about. There's just so many things that just don't add up with what Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel are saying. Because they're not really talking a whole lot about this, obviously, because they don't want to add fuel to the fire with the way social media is. But, I feel like if they were truly innocent, they would have, talked about this more. They're kind of trying to sweep this under the rug, and that just hasn't been happening, especially with Diana Rossini. And for those of you who don't know who she was an NFL insider for ESPN. And the reason that that's important regarding the NFL, I mean, obviously, aside from the fact that she works kind of adjacent to the NFL with ESPN, is there have been a lot of trade rumors for A.J. Brown to go to the Patriots. And at first, it was oh, well, Mike Vrabel's the coach. He was the coach with the Titans when A.J. Brown was on the Titans. So there's that angle. But Diana Rossini specifically has been basically pushing for that trade a lot. To an extent that makes it very suspicious, especially knowing what we know now about her and Mike Vrabel at the hotel. And there's also the whole thing with Diana Rossini, how she called her husband average, on, camera. I mean, I don't know why you would ever do that. And then there's the whole having regrets about her marriage and talking to Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, there's just a lot of sketchy shit going on with Diana Rossini, or was going on. And then there was the whole thing back in 2015 with the Washington, well, they were the Redskins at the time, with their general manager. I think his last name was McLaughlin or something, Scott McLaughlin. There was an accusation that she cheated with him on, obviously, Scott McLaughlin's wife. So, you can't give all these stories a pass. I feel like there's a pattern here. I feel like she's not exactly the most faithful wife to her husband, and she doesn't seem like she's very nice to him if she's willing to call him average on, live TV. And then there's also the whole Mike Vrabel thing. She was spotted with Mike Vrabel at a luxury hotel for couples and adults only. It's why are you putting yourself in that situation if even if they're both innocent, you're putting yourself in a really bad situation, because this looks horrible. This looks really bad for both Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. And the thing that's even crazier about it is I never would have thought that Mike Vrabel would be in this situation. I always thought he was a classy head coach who would, stay out of a situation like this. He wouldn't touch the situation with a 10-foot pole because, I mean, this isn't the first time that a head coach has done something like this. I mean, there's the whole Urban Meyer situation a few years back where he hooked up with some like younger college chick in a bar. I mean, that was kind of weird, but at the same time, it wasn't an NFL insider. I mean, the fact that it's an NFL insider that he's been alleged to be cheating with, I mean, that just makes this whole situation absolutely crazy. And Diana Orsini she ended up resigning from ESPN. And the letter that she wrote kind of makes it sound like she's guilty. I mean, I can't confirm that she's guilty. I mean, I'm not an NFL insider, but basically she writes the whole resignment letter. You know, for the most part, it's pretty typical, but she also doesn't exactly take accountability for the actions that she's done. Like, for example, getting photographed with Mike Vrabel alone at a luxury hotel. I mean, she kind of just deflected the whole thing and was just like, oh, well, I didn't really do anything, but I'm resigning anyway. And I'll pull up the letter in a minute. I mean, I'm not going to read you the whole thing because it's a long letter and it's kind of hard to read, but that's basically the gist of what the letter says. And then, you know, she is currently under investigation. So that's another thing that I want to talk about. Like, I'm not trying to say Diana Orsini's a saint or anything because I definitely don't think that. But like, Mike Vrabel literally to this point has no punishment. And I really don't think that's fair. I feel like if Diana Orsini's getting punished and getting investigated, and I mean, she probably would have gotten fired from, you know, the NFL insider at ESPN. Like, she probably would have gotten fired from that. And that's probably why she decided to just resign so she could leave on her own terms. But like, how come Mike Vrabel's not getting fired? How come he's not getting like a fine or even like a suspension or anything? Like, it seems like they're kind of just giving Mike Vrabel a pass. And I don't really think that's fair. Like, I'm not trying to say that like Diana Orsini should like get her job back or anything. Cause I mean, she kind of made her own bed, but like why is Mike Vrabel just completely getting a pass? I don't think that's fair at all. And, you know, Mike Vrabel's going to be asked about this on Thursday because that's when the NFL draft is. And people are going to ask about the situation. I mean, at least one person's going to. I mean, this is such a wild situation. Like, this will get brought up over and over until we can, you know, confirm whether or not they were both cheating with each other or not. And I think that's just how it's going to be. And I mean, you could argue that the Patriots should be punished too, because like they could argue they were cheating, you know, in the grand scheme of things of like getting other insider information they weren't supposed to have, hence why Diana Orsini was pushing so hard for that A.J. Brown trade. Like, they were probably trying to skew it so they could either get a better trade or be more likely to trade for him. You know, things that you don't really do if you're an ethical NFL franchise. And I mean, I feel like Mike Vrabel should be getting punished for this. Like, I mean, the whole cheating thing, that's one thing. I mean, it's not great, but you can't suspend a coach for cheating. Even though it is immoral, you can't really suspend them for that, but you can suspend him for, you know, getting insider information from an NFL insider that he wasn't supposed to have, being Diana Orsini. You know, I mean, that's kind of cheating. And like, there's also also this makes him look really bad. Like, the Patriots, I feel like they might honestly fire him or suspend him or something. Like, I feel like something should happen. Like, he should, I think at the very least, get suspended for a couple of games or maybe even the whole season. I mean, I feel like a lot of coaches, like, I feel like because Mike Vrabel's a good head coach, they're kind of just not talking about the ramifications that his actions should have on himself. But, you know, I feel like they should. Like, I don't think it should be this whole, oh, well, he's famous, so we're just going to, you know, give him a pass. Because that's kind of how the NFL is, unfortunately. And, like, it sucks, but that's just how it is in all of sports. Like, usually if you're famous and you're really good at your job, which definitely applies to Mike Vrabel. I mean, his team literally went to the Super Bowl in his first season with the team. They won three playoff games, and I mean, they got blown out in the Super Bowl, but it's like, the fact they went to the Super Bowl in his first season kind of just shows that he is a great head coach. I'm not trying to take that away from him, but at the same time, this is going to kind of linger on his career as a coach for the rest of time, honestly. It might go away, but it's always going to be there. Like, even if it does kind of get swept under the rug, because like this, happens, usually the story will have its fire like it has now, and then it will kind of just get swept under the rug. This is still going to stain his legacy. Like, it's already a really bad look, and it's going to look even worse if it comes out that they were actually cheating, which I'm not going to lie, it's like a 99.9% chance, in my opinion, that they were cheating with each other. And also, the reason that this story is still kind of, catching steam and still relevant, despite the fact that this whole situation started, like, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, because that's when the photographs got leaked. And I forgot to mention this, they were leaked by it was a private investigator. And now that's another question, like, who hired the private investigator to take photos of this? Was it Mike Vrabel's wife? Was it Diana Rossini's husband? Was it someone completely irrelevant to the situation who just wanted to, like, make headlines? I mean, that's a really good question, and I think at some point we'll find out, but as of right now, we don't know who it was. And also, another thing that just happened a few days ago, apparently whenever Diana Rossini was, like, I think it was either when she was typing her, like, resignation letter or something like that, she, like, hired someone, like a PR person, to help her write, like, the most professional letter, which, that's normal because you're a professional in the sports world. You want to make sure you're saying all the right things and you're not, conveying your emotions too much, which, I mean, she kind of did that already with the whole husband thing, but, you still want to try and be as professional as you can. And usually, you'd hire a PR person. Like, usually, I think every single, like, famous person in this industry has, like, someone who's in charge of that. But she hired someone that's, like, even deeper in the weeds. Like, someone that you would hire. Like, it's like the equivalent of hiring a criminal lawyer in this situation. It's like calling Saul Goodman if you're to try and convince people that you're innocent, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, obviously she didn't commit any crimes, but I mean, I guess you could say she committed the crime of infidelity, but, like, that's another thing. Yeah, it's a weird situation. I think that's all I have for now. It'll be very interesting to see how this all goes about when the draft starts and after the draft, and what Mike Vrabel ends up saying, because he's going to get asked the obvious question about this during the draft and the press conferences he's going to have. So it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. And hell, he might get fired. He might get fired the day of the draft if he says the wrong thing. Like, I'm not sure if it would be something like deflecting blame or admitting to it, possibly. I mean, I really don't know what kind of angle that he's going to have to take when he answers the media. I mean, I would assume he just deflects the whole thing. That's what most coaches do in any situation. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. And I will have you guys a mock draft either tomorrow or Thursday. Obviously, it's going to be before the draft, but it'll be a mock draft of the first round, in my personal opinion, what I think is going to happen. And yeah, this is quite the story, and I figured I had to make a video on it. There's no not making a video on something like this, even if it's not, like, super much into football as it usually is, because normally I don't make videos like this just because they're not really that related to the football sport, but this one is. Like, this is a very interesting situation, to say the very least. But Anyways, I feel like I've talked a little bit too long, and I will see you guys in my next video, and feel free to let me know what you think of this whole situation down in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.